Welcome to Dig Inspiration, a quick recap where we dig deeper into the story behind the story. In each bite-sized episode, I'll revisit key moments from our incredible guests, highlighting the most inspiring parts of the stories they share. And today, we're dropping a quick reflection on some of the most memorable parts of my talk with Danielle Coopersmith at Kraft Heinz. And this was a round 2 interview because we just couldn't get enough, our listeners couldn't get enough about all the awesome innovations she talked about last time around. And so we had to bring her back to hear the latest and greatest for some of these retail innovations. So, point number one, Danielle, I'm coming to think of as the Gen Z whisperer. Man, does she know that cohort, and not just the facts, but the practicality of how brands need to adapt their playbook to really win over that audience. So whether it's helping Gen Zs, find the right products in a grocery store, give them confidence in preparing a meal at home, the familiarity of a well-loved flavor combination, but experiencing that in their own home, understanding their definition of value. When Danielle talks about the strategies that Porfolio brands are employing at Kraft Heinz for Gen Z, it really is a strategy that takes a holistic view of that consumer base, understanding the jobs to be done. And really, that's where it all starts. So I feel like I could learn so many things from Danielle, and I did in the conversation. The second point that I took away, it's related, but it's how you have to think differently about go-to-market when Gen Z is your target. Traditional methods, they just don't work. You need to reevaluate your go-to-market plans. You need to be thinking about authentic ways to connect your brand to Gen Z, whether that's through influencers, through real life experiences, pop-ups, digital extensions. Danielle shared a dozen different tactics, but you have to think about it differently. And I think this episode was just a great kind of Cliff's Notes of how to do that for Gen Z. And I love a good legacy brand story. As I mentioned in the conversation with Danielle, I worked a lot on some of these brands early in my career. So Classico, Lea Perrins, of course, Heinz Ketchup. And for these legacy brands, innovation is a really different game. It's about finding new and relevant usage occasions. So the examples of Bloody Marys for Lea Perrins, the A1 steakhouse butter innovation. These innovations are deeply rooted in the brand's ethos and the brand's equity, but they find new ways to engage consumers in new occasions. And that can often, lead to earned media when that is really grounded in culturally relevant insights. All of a sudden, a brand that might not have the same budgets as some of these larger brands in the portfolio, a lot of things become available to them. So I loved the commentary around legacy brands, and I think a lot of our listeners can find some good tactics in there. Well, that's your Dig Inspiration recap for the week. We would love to hear your takeaways and thoughts on the conversation, so please visit the link in the description and leave us a comment.